y'all gotta stop making videos and not praying before you put them out, because God wouldn't have wanted you to put that out, because he already knew what was gonna happen when you put something like that out.
Oh, so fabulous.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel once again. It's your girl Dumebi. If this is your first time coming across my channel, you're welcome. I do hope you decide to subscribe, and if you are a returning subscriber, you guys know that I love you. It's so good to have you here. Welcome back. So my usual disclaimer, today's video is strictly for educational purposes. Please do not go searching out anybody that I talk about in this video. Don't send them any form of hate comment, threats, or violence. This channel does not support any of that. So today's video is something that has been trending. A content creator who's a black woman made a video that the black community got triggered by. You know, she's actually a black influencer, so this is just right up my alley, guys. And she kind of made this video. You know what, let me just go right ahead and play her video.
I'm gonna say something controversial, and I don't care because I've been thinking about it a lot. It is better to have a following over a black following. Before I go any further, this does not mean that I do not appreciate the people that support me and love me, okay? That's not what this means. But it is very obvious that black people do not really support black creators. And we wonder why we don't get these huge creators the way that we get these huge creators. And then we complain about it. But we're not supporting each other. And the black creators that do have millions of followers, have a huge fan base, usually have a mixed following. For example, Jackie Aina. Believe it or not, Jackie Aina has a large community following. Monet, a large following. Fanita, a large following. Quinlan Blackwell. I don't know if you guys remember this, but a couple of years ago, she was roasted by the black community because she was so involved in the community. But what's funny is it's the people and the community that are getting them millions and millions of followers that are boosting their careers. Of course, there are nuances here. It's not black and white, no pun intended, but that's really the gist of things. We don't support as much as people support.
So now, listening to that video as a black woman who has a black audience and supporters on her content there on TikTok, of course, people were triggered by her coming out to talk about how black people don't support each other, that it is better to have a white audience than a black audience. And she went as far as making examples with people like Jackie Aina and Fanita and one other lady. To be sincere, it's just Jackie Aina that I know, because you guys, I used to be a makeup content creator up in these YouTube streets before I started making this kind of content that I make now. So she went further to use these creators as examples of content creators who have a wide audience simply because they have a demographic of followers who are not just black women, as if to say that they got as big as they did simply because it is not just black people who support their content, kind of like to prove her point. So people came out and responded, but before I even go ahead to respond, you guys, there were a series of other videos that she made, and I think it just made everything worse. Let me go right ahead and play those other videos.
Shout out to Nosy Bystander who tagged me in this. As if the tea with Winnie Parker, honey, could not get any worse, check out this deleted video.
Also, one more thing. What we are not going to do is treat me like a person that is speaking on black issues. You guys aren't going to treat me like that. You guys aren't going to treat me just because I do not sound like a black woman.
What?
Doesn't mean that I don't get to speak on black issues or things that I notice in my community. Because it's giving very much, I'm not allowed to say anything about black people, black women, being a black woman and having other black women bully me, okay? It's giving very much like, oh, you're not allowed to speak because like you don't know what you're talking about. Which isn't true.
Oh.
I may sound like, okay, a white woman. I date white men. That does not mean that I don't know who I am or I don't know that I'm black. Get out here, okay? If I want to talk on black issues and sound like this and date white men, That doesn't give you any power over me. That doesn't give you any, I can't think of the fucking word right now. That doesn't give you the right, that's the word I'm looking for, to sit here and be like, oh my God, it's getting that.
What?
I pissed off a lot of people yesterday. A lot of y'all felt attacked, not appreciated, and upset by my comment. I should have used better words at the beginning of that video to get my point across. The words that I chose, saying a white audience is better than a black audience, I should have chose different words. That is not what I meant. And my bad for that. I definitely should have chose different words. But what I meant was that in order to grow a super big audience, you need a mixed audience. Having a mixed audience is better than having just one specific demographic of an audience.
Now you think she cleaned it up, but y'all, that video got a little bit worse.
Stop that. I still stand on that the black community needs to do better at supporting black creatives. What does this look like? This means liking, this means reposting, this means commenting, this means saving, this means when the creator goes out and does something maybe off TikTok, you support, you follow their Instagram. When they get brand deals, you support their brand deals. And this leads me into the next topic. I was getting comments that were saying, well, most of your following's black. Absolutely. I'm very much aware of that. And actually, my following does a great job with interacting with the content. A lot of my videos that I post, my dating or hair videos, do so good. The engagement is beautiful. The comments are beautiful. The numbers are mwah. I also engage with my communities. I'm not one of those influencers that doesn't reply back to my comments. I try to go live as often as I can. I'm very much involved in my community. So why, after all the work I do put in, because being on social media is, you have to stay consistent, and it's something, okay? But the moment I post a paid advertisement, which is a part of supporting a creator, right? That's a part of it, okay? Nothing. I've been getting a lot of hate on here. I'm okay. I just wanted to come on here and say thank you to the people who have supported me, who have left nice and kind comments, who have sent me messages, just being super kind and super supportive. It really means a lot to me. You guys do mean a lot to me. So I really just wanted to shed some light on the positive aspect of the people that are actually supporting and like fighting for their lives in my comment section. So I really appreciate it.
And of course, there was an apology at the end. As you guys know, there's always an apology.
Hi. This is harder than I thought it was gonna be because I've never had to do this before. And bear with me because I don't want to cut this up into pieces. I kind of want to just speak from the heart. I never intended to upset people as much as people have gotten upset. And I apologize for that. I apologize for what I said. I never meant for it to get out of hand. And I take accountability for the words that came out of my mouth, right? What I was trying to say was that in order to have a massive following, you need a mixed audience. You need more than just one demographic. And that the black community, you know, really, I feel really could support their black creators more. And that was the point that I was wanting to get across. And it did not come across the way that I intended it to. And for that, I apologize. I could have done better at saying what I meant instead of just hopping into the first thing that came to my mind. And that's definitely where I made the mistake. And I never wanted to upset anyone as much as everyone's gotten upset. I've definitely taken time. I've definitely thought about it. I'm sorry, there's an eyelash in my eye. I've thought about it. And I can see where everyone's coming from. You know, it's like, I didn't mean for it to come off that way, but at the end of the day, I upset a lot of people from the words that came out of my mouth. I did. And I apologize. That was not what I wanted. I totally get it. The only thing I can do from here is to just, you know, keep going and kind of show y'all that, like, I care, because I very much do, and I hate that it came off that I didn't care about my community, because I very much do, which is why, you know, I'm like, we need to support each other more. And yeah, that's basically it. Take accountability, apologize if I made you feel a certain way. That wasn't my actions. And yeah, peace and love.
So now that you guys have seen those videos, from the research and all the information that I gathered, this whole drama started because she made a video that was like a PR and an advertisement for Macy's.
She had posted a brand video with the company Macy's, and let me show you a clip of it.
Because everything is curated and it makes holiday shopping easy. They have the best gift options, and oh my god, I saw this really cute bag.
Now, when she posted this video, it wasn't really quite hitting the algorithm like I guess she had hoped for. And so instead of blaming the algorithm, she went ahead and blamed her audience. And basically said in a nutshell, black people don't support black people.
And if you're an influencer, you know that's not really the way to go. You cannot guilt trip or gaslight your audience into supporting you, because you guys, nobody's obligated to support you here on the internet if we're to be realistic. But then this particular video,
Just because I do not sound like a black woman.
What?
was something that I learned she posted just for a very, very short amount of time. Like, it wasn't even up for long, and she quickly took it down. But as you guys know, the way the internet works, once you post something, it is going to be there forever, because people had a chance to save it, had a chance to screen record it, and it's been circulating. And I think that video actually made everything worse. From what she said, you could see that she's kind of reacting to the negativity and reacting to people coming for her in the comment section. And then she's talking about how she has the right to speak on black issues because she's black, even though she dates white men, and even though she doesn't speak like a regular black person. For, in my opinion, I'm like, okay, now you guys, I don't want to shit on this lady, but I feel like, why did she feel the need to say those things? Because at this point, I feel like for her to have said those particular things were not necessary, because that has nothing to do with the response you're getting from people. People were obviously coming for her and reacting to what she said, and it had nothing to do with the fact that she doesn't speak like a typical black woman, whatever that might mean, because I don't really know what that means, or the fact that she dates a palm-colored man. So to me, it was very unnecessary for her to say that, and I think it just made everything worse, because people were like, oh, maybe she doesn't see herself as one of us even in the first place, right? So at this point, you guys, I'm just going to go right ahead and play people's stitches and responses to her.
Winnie Parker attempted to pull a Matt Rife on black people, more specifically black women, and learned just as quickly as he did who her primary audience was. And you guessed it, the very demographic that she complained did not support one another, at least to get her to the Jackie, Aina, and Fanita status, were the same demographic, matter of fact, the vast majority of people that consumed and supported her and her content. I need her and content creators like her to take a crash course in black consumerism, because while I understand your proximity to whiteness, given that you're dating a white man and have biracial children, but whispering the word white like it's a curse word while blaming your black audience for a Macy's ad or commercial that did not do well, ma'am, do you not see the problem? All in all, her misguided frustration and projection she gave the black community unprovoked over something that could have easily been blamed on the algorithm and a lack of creativity. Her lack of accountability and her failure to acknowledge the actual problem was a lesson within itself that I truly hope she and other people learned from.
Y'all know that sounds like it only takes a little bit of white brainwashing to activate the coon chip in the average Negro. That's exactly what this is giving. As a marketing major, the things that she's saying and the ideas that she has is not new. This whole concept that black people don't spend money, or black people don't support brands, or black people can't afford luxury goods, that is an idea that's been relevant in the business world for decades. As someone who's currently still a student, I can even say that some professors, some old professors, still think that way. And they will still teach in their classrooms that some demographics are less likely to spend than others. Like completely ignoring the statistic that black people are a minority. And of course, if there's a smaller number of people, of course they're going to spend less money because there's not as many people. It's like if you take a group of 3 people versus a group of 10 people and ask them to spend money, who's going to spend more money? Obviously the group of 10 people, because there's more of them, so there's more money to spend. Well, obviously, white consumers have a big impact on the market because there's a lot of them, but that doesn't mean that black people just don't spend money. And I'll give you an example. It's the same thing that when beauty brands were like, oh, well, the reason we don't make dark skin makeup is because black people don't buy our makeup. So of course we're not going to make makeup for them. Then Fenty came out with an amazing shade range and black people were like, oh, well, now we can buy from them because we actually have a shade to pick from. And then all the other brands decided to expand their shade range because they were like, oh my God, we can make money selling to black people? What? We didn't know they weren't poor. We didn't know they had money to spend on makeup products. What? Now that they realize that they can make $1 off our back and that there is a market catering to black folk, all of a sudden there's an amazing shade range. Like, yes, there are black creators like Jackie Aina and there are black brands like Teflar that make money and are sustained off of the support of black people and black dollars. But when you're being told by white corporations that black people don't spend money, then of course that's what you're going to think. And what do I mean by being fed information by white corporations? Little did I know that this whole thing, this whole uproar started because she did a brand deal with Macy's that didn't get a lot of views or likes. So basically, because her specific brand deal did not do well, she's saying that all black audiences don't support black creators. And again, as a marketing major, the first thing that comes to my mind is, well, is the brand deal fit for your demographic, for your following? How many black people do you know that frequently shop at Macy's? And how many of those black people are on TikTok? Every black person that I know that shops at Macy's is 38 and up, so they're not really on TikTok. Furthermore, if they are on TikTok, are they following you? Are those your followers? Because you have to realize every stitch that I've seen always say, oh, I know her from the bad hairstylist story times and the dating story times. The people who are on TikTok who are watching hairstylist story times and dating app story times are usually people who are my age, teens to 20s, okay? We're not shopping at Macy's. So obviously, if you're doing a brand deal with a brand that's not catering towards a black audience and specifically a young black audience, which is the majority of your following, then of course it wouldn't do well. I'm sure if you got a sponsorship from Teflar, which is a brand that young black people really love, that would do amazing. But instead, you let Macy's, a store that does not cater towards black audiences, tell you that black audiences don't spend money.
It only takes a little bit of white brainwash to activate the coon chip in the average Negro.
So, this is Winnie Parker. And if her apology sounds a bit like every other apology you've ever heard a white person make whenever they have run afoul of a marginalized community because of them saying or doing something racist, it's because Rocket Raccoons study at that same school of apology. Let's take a look at why Winnie is apologizing in the first place.
I'm going to say something controversial, and I don't care because I've been thinking about it a lot. We don't support as much as people support.
I'm here with my favorite coon. Do a little coon dance for us. Woo. Okay.
Are we just going to speed past the part where she is barely mouthing the word white throughout her whole video? And that is the audience that she says we would be better off with, but she can't even say the word white in the entire video? We're just going to speed past that, right? Well, while y'all speed past that, I'm finna go play with my dog Bella. Give me a moment. See, in that school where they teach racist bigots and Rocket Raccoons to apologize, they teach them to apologize by trying to gaslight and insult the intelligence of the audience in which they're apologizing to. Because we all heard you say,
I'm going to say something controversial, and I don't care because I've been thinking about it a lot. It is better to have a following over a black following.
And the funny thing is, you're not apologizing to us. You're apologizing because Macy's decided to drop you after that video. And the reason you're surprised by Macy's deciding to drop you is because you didn't do any due diligence on the companies that you decided to partner with. Or you would have realized that Macy's has one of the most diverse board of directors. They routinely go after the underserved markets of black sororities by fashion, makeup, and other black-owned brands. And the Queen, Sean Outler, is the Chief Diversity and Equity Inclusion Officer for Macy's. And you should have known that any company that America First Legal Foundation, an ex-Trump allied organization, goes after for discriminating by favoring minority hires was not going to be with your Rocket Raccoonery. And as far as your apology goes, Winnie, I think you know where this is about to go. As a senior member of the Black Militant Delegation and a founding member of the Anti-Rocket Raccoonery League, we decline to accept your apology, no matter what anybody else decides to do with it. For us, you can shove it up your...
Some of the content creators that she mentioned in her original video came out to make responses. Miss Jackie Aino made her video. You guys are Nigerian. That is actually the way the name is pronounced. I know it's a Yoruba name, but she says Jackie Aino. I think that's just like easier for people to pronounce. So Miss Jackie Aino made her video in response, and Fanita also made her video in response.
I strongly disagree with the state. The interesting thing about the internet is like everything that you think is a hot take has probably been said before. This is not the first time I've heard this. I've never really heard a good enough argument to substantiate this claim that black people don't support each other. I've yet to hear a single convincing argument. I wanted to respond to this because this creator mentioned me in this video. I am not making this video to dogpile on her, but I got mentioned, so I do want to respond. I often hear people say that black people don't support each other because we're always bringing each other down and we're always dragging each other. And that's true. Like, I can't say that that's not true. However, if you follow anybody in any marginalized group or minority group, they all experience the same things. When people be saying like, oh, it's only black creators who get dragged by their own, you have not stepped outside of black Twitter if you really, really, truly think that. Some of the people that I follow in other communities, just look at their comments. Like, I'm not going to name any names. I'm telling you, some of these non-black groups get their comments. They be coming for they owns next. So we know it's not that. Her basic argument is that it's better for black creators to have white followers than it is to have like a majority following of your own. And the second reason why I don't necessarily think this is true, and this is actually going to be a hot take in itself, I am what you would consider a mainstream creator, and I have a majority black demographic, but it is mixed. I have Asians who follow me, I have black people who follow me, I have white people who follow me. Please don't take this as like you're not welcome to be here. You absolutely are. I make content for literally anybody who likes it, and honestly, I make content for the girls. I'm not here to discriminate or say you're not welcome, but I can adamantly say before I became like mainstream and I would say certain things that were like really prevalent to like being black and like the black experience, it was so much easier to say those things without having to add a bunch of unnecessary disclaimers, without having to like kind of clean it up a little bit. Do you know what I mean? When you're on a mainstream radar, you actually have to be a lot more careful with what you can say, because someone who does not relate to you might be like, hey, well, what did you mean by that? Because I've gotten dragged for some stupid stuff. There was a time where there was like a whole, I don't even want to mention it. There was like a whole smear campaign at one point where people were literally trying to, so stupid, where there was non-black people basically like trying to get me up out of here under the basis that I was reverse racist because of the type of content that I made. And it felt like I was like always fighting for my life because the things that I normally fully related to from other black people were now being picked apart under a microscope, and it did shambles on my mental health. I don't even want to talk about it. My black audience is, and always has been, and always will be, my safe space. Black women come to my meet and greets. Black women be in the comments. Black people buy my products. Black people show up and show out. Yes, the people who are negative and nasty and disgusting and who have said some of the most concerning things about me, sometimes they're also black people, but honestly, they're kind of easy to ignore now, so I'll just be like, okay. The positive noise that comes from having a majority black audience actually by far outweighs the negative. As long as you can just stay focused and like not pay attention to the stupid stuff, girl, ain't nobody worried about that. That doesn't necessarily mean it's not hurtful. Of course it's hurtful, but they ain't doing nothing and I ain't going nowhere. Now this next thing is not to be petty, even though I know it's gonna come off petty. The person who made this video and used me as an example, which a lot of times people tend to do, was not even following me. It's okay to not follow me, but like why use me as an example about how like we don't be supporting each other and then like not be following me? And also I know you don't support my content because you didn't say my last name properly. I'm not gonna take off points. I don't technically pronounce my last name in Yoruba the proper way, the way it's supposed to be pronounced. But I am just kind of proving a point. It's like, well, you don't really do yourself any favors, because I do find that sometimes people, you know, kind of use me as like the all-encompassing example of things, and then also don't be supporting me themselves, you know? I know from the outside looking in, it might seem like it's better to have a majority non-black audience, but baby, as somebody who exists on every platform, I'm just telling you, it's not what you can. It's
not what you think it's cracked out to be, okay? It's great, but I don't think one is more at an advantage than the other per se. I don't know. I think we just need to do away with this narrative. There's a lot of up and coming creators who follow me, and I feel like that mentality is kind of a trap. And I don't want y'all to like get caught up in that because it will very quickly discourage you. The best way to grow your audience, and this applies to anybody listening, really practicing gratitude and honoring the people who follow you where you are right then and there. Look at even some of the influencers in markets like Atlanta, the South in general. Those girls be having majority Black audiences and are thriving. Any audience is an audience worth being grateful for, but especially a Black one. A bliggity Black one.
So I'm minding my Black ass business yesterday on Twitter, and I see a video that has my name in it. And I just want to come on here and say that majority of my followers are Black women. I don't know where I got a majority white following came from. You see my content and think this is content for white people? And we've seen it happen every single time a majority white audience sees me like on a different platform or somebody else's shit. They don't ever get my sense of humor. They don't ever get my jokes. Like, and I also make videos for Black women, to Black women. Like, I don't know how that rumor started. I'm here to shut shit down. Don't be spreading them rumors. Don't be spreading them rumors about me. I mean, obviously, like, I have non-Black followers, but anytime I get recognized in public, it's always by Black women. Anytime I get DMs, it's by Black women. Like, I have non-Black followers, but my majority is definitely Black women. It's always been since I started social media 3 years ago. Also, I feel like with influencing or content creation, people will get like 2 viral videos and be like, oh my God, I need to be an influencer type shit. But this shit is like, you know what I'm saying? It takes time. It takes consistency. Not every video is going to be a hit. You know what I'm saying? Some ads are going to flop. But the thing about ads, even if it flops, the check's still going to clear. So like, you know what I'm saying? You don't really got to worry about that too much. But if your content doesn't suck, people will fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? Like if your content isn't mid, people will fuck with you. People will tune into your shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, don't ever lie on me like that. You know what I'm saying? I get my lashings enough on my own. I don't need to be in nobody else's business. Don't be saying my name.
So now that you guys have heard their responses, I want to speak on each from my own point of view. And I particularly feel like I can make an input because I have a predominantly Black audience. People of African descent all over the world watch my video. So I have a predominantly Black audience. Now you guys, just like I mentioned, there are different things that determine how successful your videos are going to go as a content creator. There are also different things that determine the kind of demographic your videos are going to appeal to as a content creator, the kind of audience you're going to have as a content creator. So first of all, this lady created this content talking about how white people are more supportive. I don't know how she can judge that, because does she have a way to check her statistics and see that it is mostly her white audience that are watching her video as opposed to her Black audience? Like, how is she judging this? Another narrative that she kind of pushed with her video that I want to correct is the fact that she said that when you have a mixed audience, you're more likely to do better as a content creator and get a larger following and views and all of that, as opposed to when you do content that is directed to a specific demographic. I have observed this happen. The fact that you're doing content that anybody from any race, any age bracket can watch does not mean you'll be more successful than a person that, let's say, makes content specifically for Black women. People will only support you and watch your content when they feel like your values align, when they feel like you talk about things that they are interested in, when they feel like they're getting some kind of education or some kind of entertainment or a platform to discuss issues that they feel are important to them, or when they find you relatable, right? Now, from what I gathered, this lady basically makes storytime videos and she dates white men, just as she said. So those storytime videos are probably about interracial dating, right?
I get it. I like the white man. I like white boys. Okay.
And she makes vlogs from what I saw on her page. And then she's doing a Macy's advert. So if that is different from your usual content, you don't really expect the same amount of support that you usually get on your regular kind of videos. And then again, there's also the question of the quality of the kind of videos that you put out. Are your videos good? Are they entertaining? Are they engaging? Do people find you relatable? All my years of being on YouTube, I've got to find out that apart from whatever it is you're talking about, your personality matters, because people can see through you if you're authentic. They can see through you if you're a mean person. They can see through you if you don't really mean the things you're saying. They can see through you if you're faking it. Like, people can just tell. So the personality and the quality of videos matter as well. So these are the things you need to ask yourself before concluding that your videos are not doing well simply because black people don't like to support other black people. So you guys, in all sincerity, what she said is her own opinion, and that probably has been her experience. I don't know, but all in all, is there any sense to what she's saying? Is it that black people don't support each other? Actually, I don't believe black people don't support each other, and I am a living proof as an African woman who speaks on black issues. So that is another question with what this woman said. When you're talking about having a mixed audience or having a white audience is better than a black audience, are you even creating content for the white audience? And if you're a black person creating content that is catered to people that don't look like you, you also have to bear in mind that if there's someone else who is the same skin color as them creating the same kind of content, there's a tendency that they're going to click more on that person's videos than yours because they find that person more relatable. It is just normal human psychology, normal human behavior. So as a content creator, you cannot have it all. If you want to do something that is specific to a certain demographic, do it. But don't say you want to switch up or you want to water down your personality or to start tap dancing strictly because you want a wider demographic that are not just black people. Black people really do support other black people. But if there's one thing I also know about black people, really, is the fact that they will hold you accountable. When you say something wrong, they're not just going to let it slide. They will call you out on your BS. They will drag you if you mess up. They will call you out on your BS. Black people can be very vocal about their disagreement with you, and black people can also be very vocal about their support with you. So yeah, I think black people are supportive, especially black women. I mean, look at that whole black girl follow train thing. We did that on our own, right? But I also will not disregard the fact that there are some black people also that will also want to pull you down. And I think it's not a black people thing, it's a human thing. It very likely happens in every race. It is not just black people, right? And if we are to be real, we know that the algorithm usually favors a lot of non-black, specifically white content creators over black content creators. So these are definitely things one should consider when you want to judge the success rate of a black content creator that makes content that is specific for black people. And eventually she lost that brand deal, and I can see why, because if you came at your audience and then they came at you and it's just a clash, I don't think any brand would want to be associated with all that kind of drama.
I just got an email from the brand, from Macy's, and they basically are saying that, like, because of the amount of hate that I got on the video, like, they're reading through the comments that they're probably not going to work with me again. That's basically what they're saying in a nutshell. So that's always fun.
So anyways, I want to know what you guys think about this whole situation. Please drop your comments and your opinion in the comment section. I'll be reading. Let's have a discussion. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.